A Trump voter is now feeling some regrets and publicly posts a video in why she no longer supports Donald Trump. And I'm going to show you part of that now.
The first questions are very easy. The last question.
That is the wrong video. Let's go to the right video.
I voted for Donald Trump in 2016, and I swear I will not make that mistake again. In fact, I owe everyone an apology. I owe the entire world an apology. I've never voted for a Democrat. I wasn't planning on it this time around. I decided in probably January, February, when I heard that the first case of coronavirus was in Venice, I said to everybody around me, if it's in Venice, it's in the United States. And the administration didn't take it seriously from the very beginning. They continued to come on TV and say, low risk to Americans, 15 cases going down to 0, all this BS that I knew at the time was BS. So I lacked any confidence and knew that it was going to be lie, deny, deflect, and now it's turned into full-blown delusions. But at that moment, I decided he no longer has my vote.
All right, so look, this former Trump supporter, as I mentioned, is a Republican, okay? Is a Republican who's kind of mad about the coronavirus. Understandably so, because under Donald Trump, his leadership or lack thereof has led to the death of over 140,000 Americans. I mean, the man is not fit to lead. He's completely inept. He does not care about the American people. He doesn't care if this virus ravages the population, so long as he gets enough people to vote him back into office. And of course, the money continues to flow to him and his businesses. That's it. That's it. So now look, here's the thing. We're going to get a little nuanced, right? So it's kind of easy to pile onto this person for being terrible for voting for Donald Trump in 2016, right? And let me tell you why. I mean, he said very publicly in the beginning of this campaign, Mexicans are criminals and rapists. And that some, I believe, are good people, right? And they're pouring the drugs over the border and they want to come and take your jobs and all that stuff, right? It's really difficult to look at somebody who voted for that and not think, really? What the fuck? What are you thinking? Why would you ever do that? And so, yeah, I understand the pylon. I get it. I get it. Blatantly, openly racist from the get-go. His entire signature policy was build a wall to keep the brown people out. Yup. So now that's it, right? It's okay to want immigration reform to cut down on undocumented immigration, right? And see, here's the thing. From the left perspective, right, I think we understand that corporations take advantage and exploit undocumented labor. We do. Our entire agricultural industry is based on exploitation. That's why we have cheap vegetables, right? And because, look, if we only had the government to subsidize vegetables like they do corn, because now corn's in basically everything and it's super cheap, that's because the government subsidizes the crap out of it, right? If the government subsidized other vegetables, well, you could still pay people a rather good wage, right, for picking those vegetables. Although you still have a problem with Americans not actually wanting to do that job, because I know they've tried. They've tried actually offering $15 an hour to pick the vegetables to Americans, and they got very, very few takers, people that quit, that couldn't handle that work that undocumented immigrants do, and they do it for less. And so understand that entire system is built on the exploitation of people from Latin American countries. So that's, again, that's sort of a core of capitalism. So there's that, right? We need massive reform. We need a different system. We need to change this so that we don't have a system of agriculture or any other system that is as exploitative as this or exploitative at all. So that's different than build a wall to keep out the brown people who are all criminals and rapists. If you believe that, well, that's racism, right? That is a clear example of racism. However, right, while I point that out, I do, before you get too tough on this lady, right? Here's the other reason she decided not to support Donald Trump and what she's going to do about it. Take a look.
I didn't come around to voting for Biden until George Floyd. And it was the reaction, or I guess you could say non-reaction, to Americans screaming out for justice. And then, of course, gassing peaceful protesters. I mean, what country do we live in? This is insanity. That's when I decided that Biden had my vote, because we need to do whatever we can to get that monster out of the White House. And there's just been so much shit since May. I mean, there's example after example after example of why he has to go. I think back to 2016, and he ran on Drain the Swamp. He is the swamp. He's worse than the swamp. He is the scum at the bottom of the swamp. We cannot give this man another 4 years. He will destroy this country. A vote for anyone other than Biden is a vote for Trump, and you need to pick country over party. Please, for the love of all Americans, do the right thing. Do not vote for that monster.
All right, so look, that's her in her own words, right? She saw the injustice happening around to African Americans, and to the police, and to her that was a deciding factor. So now that gets me to why I think she had those previously disastrous positions, right? I think this person was grossly misinformed. I think that this is a person who originally didn't pay much attention to politics, probably grew up a Republican, and was like, I'll vote Republican because, whatever. She might not even have voted before 2016. I don't know. And so the big message, as you heard, that she really paid attention to is drain the swamp, anti-corruption. Well, look, when you're talking about anti-corruption, you get a massive majority of people that like that message. Why? Because we don't like the fact that our government is corrupt. And it is corrupt. It's corrupt under both Republicans and Democratic administrations. And so I get that, right? And so I don't think that to be charitable, I think that she probably saw the obvious blatant racism from the Trump campaign and ignored it and placed the anti-corruption message over that. And again, being super charitable, right? I'm not going to let that one go. There's no way, even if you're minimally informed, right? There's no way that you can't hear Mexicans are criminals and rapists and some are good people and think, no, he's fine. I'll vote for this guy. Completely not racist. No. But here's the thing. I'm willing to let it go. I'm going to let it go. So I'm not going to trash her, right? I'm not going to cancel her. And I'm going to urge you guys not to cancel her too. Oh, why? I think because it seems like she's shown the willingness to open her eyes and to be like, well, boy, did I make a mistake. Boy, did that suck. Maybe I should fix that. And I mean, again, I think this was due to actually getting the real information, not only seeing it from her, with her own eyes, what's going on with coronavirus, but look, the lockdowns have given people the time to actually begin to look into politics. And to look into what's going on beyond just the headlines, which understandably are incredibly sensationalist, especially surrounding the George Floyd protests. But you can't go and look at people, for example, moms getting gassed in Portland over the George Floyd protests and think, oh no, this is what a functional democracy looks like. No, but understand this has been like this for a very, very long time. Okay, that's what it's been like in America for years. Even under President Obama, there were water cannons out at, against Native Americans out in Standing Rock. So that's the stuff that our country's been actually doing for a long time. But a lot of people don't see it because they don't have the time to be able to see it. And so, look, I don't want to have this woman canceled because at a point in 2016, she was on the wrong side. Okay? Let's actually, I don't know, help people that want to be on the right side by actually giving them the tools and the information to be able to make those better decisions. And look, it's easier for me to say, like, how can you miss all that stuff, right? All the stuff, all the corruption that Donald Trump has done. But it's easier for me to say because I cover politics as my career, right? Maybe I'm being a little unfair. Maybe not. I don't know. But I just think we should help provide accurate information to people who are open to change. Help them see what's going on. I think it's so much better for us as a movement on the left to welcome people into our camp. We shouldn't be shutting people down, right? We should be trying to do our best to reach out and to say, actually, no, let's not do, let's not cancel, right? Let's not, and understand, like, there are people definitely that should be canceled. So I get it, right? People who continue to support, even knowing what actually is going on, to continue to support those policies. Yeah, you can cancel those people, right? But I'm saying we need to be not so quick to do that. We actually need to start being more open on the left and stop doing this circular firing squad and stop, trying to, I should say, stop ignoring people's humanity, right? We need to welcome people on the left. We need to welcome people to the left, because that's the way that not only are we going to, get more people to our side, but it's actually how we can get actual policy victories by having more people on our side voting for more leftist politicians, and also getting out in the street, because that's a really, really important component to being able to set up a winning coalition. And so I'm happy that she came out and said what she said. I agree with her 100% on a lot of that stuff. I'm really happy that she's having her eyes opened and is starting to realize and has realized what's really going on. And so I think I wish her well on her journey away from, of course, the party of Donald Trump. And hopefully, I hope that she ends up in a better place, right? And where we believe in facts and where we believe in treating people with both humanity and justice. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.